That's Nick.
And that's Joseph.
And today, you get to talk about your favorite lady.
I do. You've deemed that that's appropriate, I guess. Well, you created a poll.
I did. Obviously, Aliens is a favorite of everyone's.
If they're going to be my friend, then yeah.
Yeah. But that was just to initiate interest in the idea that Nick is going to present his top 5 favorite Sigourney Weaver performances. But in true fashion, I'm sure there will be more than 5 things you're talking about.
Well, I was told that I was not allowed any ties, so that is difficult for me.
You're going to do it anyway?
No, I'm not. No.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then.
Do we want to, like, I feel like if somebody just stumbles on this video, they're not going to understand why the hell this is happening.
You have been fixated with Sigourney Weaver.
Since I was 10 years old in 1994, when I saw the first Alien film, and I remember the very first time I heard her name uttered, and I immediately was like, who, what is that, and where can I see her?
You have a shrine to Sigourney Weaver in this house.
That's followed me everywhere.
You have posters of her everywhere.
Uh-huh.
You've stalked her at many a theater performance.
Oh yes, and anything she's done off Broadway since 2001 I've been to.
We even went to she gave a talk about like the environment one time at the Orpheum Theater in
Minneapolis.
We sat front row in these bright lavender shirts, hoping to get her attention, and yeah. So you have
I've met
long-standing. You've met her. You have a long-standing admiration for her, adoration,
yes,
obsession. But that's okay. I'm obsessed with Janet Jackson.
Just like daily Google searches,
it's
not
okay.
anything.
So do begin. Well, actually, why don't you explain the sort of rubric for how you came up with this top 5 list?
They're lead performances. They're films I could watch over and over again. They're films that were meaningful to me at a certain point in life, perhaps.
Well, these are performances, though.
These are performances. The films that I'm not highlighting like shit films. That like they're also excellent films as well. But ones that if you were new to me and happen to have not seen them, I would definitely be showing you if we were to hang out together. But yeah, it's also very hard to limit them to 5, which is why I wanted to focus where she's front and center.
How many IMDb credits does she have?
She's like 89 or something.
Okay.
Yeah, she's been in a lot of stuff. And she has forthcoming projects as well. So if I'm allowed honorable mentions though, the TV set, Gorillas in the Mist, Working Girl, of course, Ghostbusters, Galaxy Quest. Those are all like great performances that I also personally could watch over and over again. So let's start at if I had been allowed a tie, it would have been with Copycat. But my actual number 5 is Snowcake, directed by Mark Evans from 2006, in which she plays an autistic woman named Linda, opposite Alan Rickman. Alan Rickman accidentally kills her daughter, played by Emily Hampshire from Schitt's Creek.
Stevie?
Yeah.
Oh, I watched Snowcake numerous times and I never connected the two.
Yeah, that's her.
Wow.
And Carrie-Anne Moss is in it. Carrie-Anne Moss won a Genie for it, which is a Canadian Oscar. Sigourney was nominated for one of those. And he just develops this relationship with this autistic woman who he's not quite sure if she's actually grieving the loss of her daughter because he's never had to deal with someone in this condition. And of course she is. But it's a very touching performance, Canadian production.
I agree.
Number 4 is A Map of the World, 1999 film directed by Scott Elliott, who has directed theater productions. This is his only film.
I just realized that the poster for this movie is right there.
Right over there, yeah. And co-stars Julianne Moore and David Strathairn. And Louise Fletcher and Chloe Sevigny. I mean, what? And Arliss... Howard. Deborah Winger's husband. And Sigourney Weaver. It's based on a novel by Jane Hamilton, which was part of Oprah's book club, and that's Sigourney Weaver was invited to speak about it because the film had already been made, and Oprah called her statuesque. And that Sigourney's best friend, she's babysitting her children and the kid drowns in the pond in the backyard. She's a Wisconsin school nurse. At the same time that happens, she's accused of molesting Chloe Sevigny's little white trash kid, and then goes to jail. There's a really great scene with Ingenue Ellis in there. She was nominated for a Golden Globe. The Oscars chose to nominate Meryl Streep for Music of the Heart that year, in that number 5 slot. Anyhow, love that film. I think it's an underrated performance of hers. She often credits that when she's asked, like, which of your films you think deserve more attention. She often says that.
Right.
Number 3, Heartbreakers from 2001, directed by David Mirkin, Simpsons writer who is also known as the director of Romy and Michelle's High School Reunion. He had planned on a sequel, he said he wrote, called Heartbroken, but then Anne Bancroft died. Remember Anne Bancroft?
She was her mentor.
Yes.
In the movie. Yeah.
But it's about mother-daughter con artists. Sigourney plays Jennifer Love Hewitt's mother, and they con wealthy Floridian who's a cigarette tycoon played by Gene Hackman. And all of the scenes with Sigourney and Gene Hackman are just fucking fantastic.
I agree.
Jason, the Jennifer Love Hewitt side plot is...
She's my least favorite part of the movie.
Yes.
But Sigourney, when they're in having like a Russian dining experience.
Oh yes, and she has to sing Back in the USSR.
That's a highlight.
Yes, all the sequence where she's portraying Olga, and Nora Dunn as the maid that hates her. Ray Liotta, who, although Ray Liotta and Andy Cohen said his worst on-screen kiss was from this film, but whatever, Ray. Number 2, Aliens, the 1986 classic, sequel to Alien, of course, directed by James Cameron, Sigourney Weaver's first Oscar nomination.
James Cameron directed Aliens?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Oh, I guess I didn't know that. I mean, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
Oh, is that the first time they worked together?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I thought Avatar was the first time.
No.
Okay.
Nope. Avatar 2, and then 2, 3, 4, and 5, or however many. Which I'll be glad. I think is she finally done with those? I don't know.
I'll call and ask.
And then my number 1 favorite Sigourney Weaver film / performance is that of Paulina Escobar in Death and the Maiden, the 1994 Roman Polanski film, which she was not nominated for an Oscar in that, as she should have been. Instead, the Academy that year chose to nominate Jodie Foster in Nell, which, check that out if you haven't seen it.
Chickabee.
Chickabee. Which is a committed performance, but and she plays a Chilean victim who's one of the disappeared during Pinochet's regime, but she survives after being tortured and raped by this malicious doctor. And she's married to Stuart Wilson in the film, who comes to a position of political position of prominence, and they're starting to prosecute all these war criminals. And one night, the man whose voice she recognizes as her rapist, the doctor who played Death and the Maiden, is on her porch steps, and she decides to knock him out, take him hostage, and force a taped confession from him, because she's been ruined since then. And she was kidnapped because of who her boyfriend was, the politically active husband she later married. So yeah, that's my top 5.
Dun, 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 dun.
To be fair, because people say I'm biased, I do have, I will watch anything she's in, and multiple times, but there are things that she's done that aren't her fault.
She just took the money and the role, but okay.
No, and there are, I also brought up 5 films that I don't really care for, and only force certain people that get really close to me to watch. But
so you're about to list
I'm just
your least favorite performances.
No, films.
Oh, least favorite
her
films.
Performances
okay.
are fine. Exodus, Gods and Kings.
Oh, where this white lady plays like...
I knew it was a problem when I think of course I wanted to see her in it, but then I knew it was a problem when I think they ran something during production at Entertainment Weekly about how the inspiration for her character in production was Jessica Rabbit. She got edited the hell out of that movie mostly, which is probably fine, considering Hollywood's history of casting whites in roles that should be somewhat of color. And there were people of color in that film. It's just they always do that thing where the royals are white. But beyond that, even if she had proliferated it, I would have been bored a bit with Christian Bale as Moses. Another Ridley Scott film that she's in that I don't care for that much is 1492, Conquest of Paradise.
Wait, okay, I thought Ridley Scott did Aliens.
Ridley Scott did the first Alien.
Oh, that's why I was confused. Okay, sorry.
But he's directed her 3 times in Alien, and then he cast her as Queen Isabella of Spain in 1492, Conquest of Paradise. She's only in 1 or 2 scenes because, you know, Isabella gives Columbus.
I haven't seen that movie. But and I don't know history, so.
Well, she gave him the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria.
Okay, I do know about those 3 boats.
Okay, she got those boats. And of course it's Gerard Depardieu, and making him speak English was a choice. Great cast in that, though. Armando Sante, blah, blah, blah. But it's long and feels like it. And it was released in conjunction with the 500-year anniversary of that white man that came and killed a bunch of Indians. But The Cold Light of Day with Henry Cavill and Bruce Willis, directed by Mabrouk El-Mekri, hopefully I'm saying his last name right. It was a role written for a man. She's an assassin. It's fun to see her, but it's really not much going on in that film. Vantage Point from 2008, which I've just read that they're making into a television series now.
Interesting.
Which probably makes more sense considering that format. But again, she was playing a role written for a man, Rex, with Zoe Saldana, where that bomb goes off in that square, and then everybody's perspective gets a chance to shine.
I had that on the other day.
Yeah, it's interesting. I just don't think it plays that. It hasn't aged well to me.
Your final film is one that I watched like 2 weeks ago.
Abduction?
Yes.
Sigourney,
it's not good.
It's not good. It's Sigourney's only film directed by
John Singleton,
a black person. So I'm thankful that she's in that. But
I have to say Poetic Justice too. Now that
and John Singleton, rest in peace, major player. This unfortunately was his last film. Taylor Lautner.
She's fine in it, but Taylor Lautner's so flat.
Yes.
Anyway.
Also, but a really great supporting cast, like Alfred Molina, Michael Nyqvist is in it, who's now dead.
Who's the mom?
Maria Bello, Jason Isaacs. Really good cast for just everybody that has to revolve around Taylor Lautner being special.
All right, so before we end the video, just in case Sigourney watches it, you should look into the camera and give her a message.
Joseph.
No, say something.
What? I didn't have time to prepare.
But what if she walked what if we just bumped into her one day? What would you say to her?
I have always thought that I would say I would love to buy you a drink, and
so Sigourney, if you watch this video, let Nick buy you a drink
and tell her that I want to write movies for her.
There you go. Anything else?
No, that's it.
All right, bye.
Bye.